Magandang hapon, Odoo Pinas, and welcome to Odoo Community versus Odoo Enterprise in the Philippines. My name is Ananda Mandalihan. I'm your business advisor from Odoo Asia Pacific. Ating agenda for today's discussion is first, a comparison ng community and enterprise version ni Odoo. Second, perks ng paggamit ng Odoo Enterprise. Third, what can bring to the Philippines. Fourth, FAQs from our local customers sa Philippines. And fifth, we'll have a Q&A session after this. Umpisahan natin sa comparison ng Community and Enterprise Edition ni Odoo. Bakit nga ba useful ang paggamit ng Odoo Community, or why is Odoo Community good for you? First and foremost, Odoo Community is free to use. Ang primary reason ng mga gumagamit ng Odoo Community sa Philippines ay dahil libre itong gamitin. It's also an open source, may flexibility tayo for coding, and yung mga developers natin can use this to access their Odoo skills. Let's say, isa kang kumpanya na merong in-house developer, and then you want them to help out with managing your Odoo database. They can start using Odoo Community. Lastly, alongside with this, it's self-hosted, so you can fully manage your own Odoo environment. Or Odoo Community versus Odoo Enterprise, ang pinakamalaking comparison nila is limited ang functionalities sa Odoo Community Edition. So sa Odoo Community versus Odoo Enterprise, maraming differences pagdating sa mga features and functionalities sa ating Enterprise Edition. Sa Community Edition and Enterprise, available for full set of functions sa mga applications na CRM, sales, and website builder. Ngunit for other applications, meron siyang limited use lang. Let's say sa inventory app, manufacturing, and employee database, typically limited ito sa ating Odoo Community Edition. And of course, sa Odoo Enterprise Edition, available naman ang mga applications na accounting at Odoo Studio. So paano ba nagiging relevant yung comparison ng community versus enterprise pagdating sa paggamit ng mga applications na to? Let's say sa isang scenario na typical sa Philippines is that you're a user of the inventory management. Nag-start ka sa community, you wanted to use the chart cost of goods sold, may chart of accounts ka na available, hindi natin to magagawa sa ating community version sapagkat wala ngang accounting ang ating Odoo Community Edition. For the Philippines, ano ba yung mga key features na na-encounter natin pagdating sa ating mga customers na available lamang sa Odoo Enterprise? Typical scenario sa Philippines would be, una, mag-start ako ng business and then gusto kong gamitin si Odoo for that business. Lumaki yung business mo and you wanted to have another business setup na iba naman yung industry. Pero dahil nga may dalawa kang businesses that you fully own, gusto mo na magkaroon ng intercompany transactions between them, and para makatipid ka sa subscription, iisang database na yung gagamitin mo. So that scenario is available sa ating Odoo Enterprise Edition. May multi-company settings tayo that can enable intercompany transactions such as creation of PO and then creation of sales order naman dun sa kabilang company, or sales invoice kung i-invoice mo yung kabilang company mo, may intercompany transaction din tayo na ganun ng setup. Typical din na ginagamit ang multi-company setting pagdating sa mga businesses na gusto nila ng affordable option para sa isang distribution management system, or yung mga mag-order yung mga dealers nila sa kanila and then or distributors nila sa kanila directly. So this is the first one, multi-company settings na available lamang sa ating Odoo Enterprise Edition. Ikalawa, heavily reliable ang ating inventory management, or heavily reliant tayo sa inventory management pagdating sa pag-manage ng mga warehouses and real-time inventories natin. So itong functionality na to is available lamang sa Odoo Enterprise. Limited ang functionalities na available sa ating Odoo Community Edition. Isa sa mga common na ina-encounter ko sa Philippine market would be them asking us, Ananda, meron ba kayong inventory accounting sa inyong sa inyong Odoo database? Yun ay available lamang sa Odoo Enterprise Edition natin. Ikatlo, and actually my personal favorite, may available na kaagad na barcode scanning sa ating Enterprise Edition. Hindi mo na kakailanganin mag-set up or bumili pa ng bagong software just for the barcode scanning functionalities. Typical to kapag meron ng existing barcodes yung mga products mo or you really wanna create putting labels dun sa ating mga products, may barcode scanning functionalities na tayo sa Odoo Enterprise. Meron na rin tayong available na mobile application sa ating standard version ng ating Odoo Enterprise. So this is useful para sa ating mga Filipino business owners na mahiling mag-travel. And then, gusto ko malaman kung alin ba yung mga available or mga nagagawa ng aking mga staff. Productive ba sila? Or kung meron akong field service functionalities na kailangan gawin for project related na mga businesses, they can actually use this mobile application. I myself am personal user of the mobile app of Odoo. Sino ba ang maaaring gumamit ng Odoo Community or kanino to mas advisable na i-advise? Or sino ba ang pwedeng gumamit ng Odoo Enterprise? Sino mas magbe-benefit naman sa Enterprise Edition ni Odoo? Odoo Community is actually very useful for first students who are trying to learn Odoo. So kung school kayo, you wanted to add this to your curriculum, you wanted them to learn about Odoo, coding sa Odoo and such, Odoo Community is the way to go. You're a student or a teacher. Also, if you're a developer or may in-house developers kayo who can fully set up a system para sa business nyo, or if you're doing the testing or startup phase, Odoo Community would be useful for you as well. Keep in mind though, that kung nag-umpisa kayo ng business nyo kay Odoo Community, kung ano yung in-install natin na community version, yun lang maaari natin gamitin. So pag na-obsolete na siya, kakailanganin naman natin mag-start ng bago nating system. And in the long term, wala tayong upgrades to new version. So unlike Odoo Enterprise na merong major and minor upgrades, si Odoo Community, yun lang yung pwede natin gamitin kung ano yung in-install natin. You also have a lack of support and services when you need help. Ang reference lang natin pagdating sa paggamit ng Odoo Community, mainly ay forums. Meron naman tayong mga active community users na makakausap natin sa mga forums, but in terms of having a support directly coming in from Odoo, this is the limitation ng Odoo Community version natin. Lastly, meron din tayong high maintenance for self-hosting. Kung kaya mong i-handle or i-maintain ang sarili mong hosting or sarili mong Odoo database in-house, then Community is something you can use. But if this is something that is mahirap i-maintain or kailangan mo ng manpower to do this, better to go to the Odoo Enterprise Edition. So in summary for this one, kapag nag-umpisa ka ng Odoo Community version at first, mahihirapan kang mag-scale up ng business dahil sa mga limitations na to na nabanggit ko. For our next slide, papakita ko naman sa inyo yung ibig ko sabihin sa upgrades, regular upgrades ni Odoo or regular new versions na lumalabas for Odoo Enterprise. So this is our version 16.3. For those of you who are using Odoo Community, makikita nyo na napakalaking difference niya pagdating sa interface na available ngayon sa Odoo Enterprise Edition natin. Apart from that, our version upgrades usually, we do have a major, which is done usually yearly. Meron din tayong minor upgrades na available. So, I'll give you an example. Typical na na-encounter ko when I was new in Odoo was sales credit limit request from the Philippines. Tatanungin nila, Ananda, mahirap maningil sa mga companies sa Philippines, yung mga kliyente namin. So, meron kaming ini-issue actually na credit limit for them. Pag nag-max out na sila, hindi na namin sila i-issuehan ng quote. Dati hindi siya available sa version nung nag-umpisa ako sa Odoo, but now it's readily available in the standard version of the system. If I'm not mistaken, I think sa minor version siya lumabas initially. But that's one of the cases kung kailan useful na mag-start ka talaga sa enterprise dahil nga sa support and upgrades na available dito. Using Odoo Enterprise. First, again, version updates na na-discuss. Odoo issue new updates for functions and interface. Second would be full set of applications and functionalities. So these applications and functionalities, the reason why they're using Odoo for their businesses is gusto natin ng integrated na mga applications. Or readily magagamit natin sila to boil down dun sa ating health ng business, which is typically nanggagaling sa accounting books natin. So, ang advantage ng paggamit kay Odoo Enterprise, let's say nag-start ka kay sales, you wanted to add finance, which is yun nga yung pinaka-reference natin ng health ng business, we can always add that later on kapag natapos na nating iset up yung first part. So we can easily expand as we grow. No need to worry about limitations of adding the new features in the system. Mobile app version. So again, higher mobility, you can access Odoo from anywhere. So typically, ang nagiging scenario dito is yung mga gumagamit ng field service management application ni Odoo or yung mga business owners nga na gusto nilang ma-monitor yung operation sila while they're away from the site. Or kung may multiple branches ka, you wanted to see kamusta ba yung sales ng multiple branches ko. That's when the mobile app version is very useful. Fourth is comprehensive customization environment. So you can customize your own or with Odoo developers, and you can also customize without coding with Odoo Studio. So kung makikita nyo sa slide na to, sa lower left, we do have this Odoo Studio feature right here. Drag and drop siya. Even for me, na walang developer experience, you can actually, or coding experience, you can actually use this and learn about this ng mabilisan. So typical scenario sa Philippines would be meron kang specific form or form or reporting na gustong gawin sa system. Okay, gantong gusto ko lumabas sa PDF ko. Gusto ko may picture yung quotation ko. That's something that can be done with Odoo Studio. Additional fields. Dahil wala kang niche market si Odoo, you can actually use Odoo for different industries and then just add the fields that you need later on. Let's say, ang isang na-encounter ko before, Ananda, how can I add like bike brands dito sa system? Gusto ko specific field siya, bike brand, if i-filter out ko. So that's when we use Odoo Studio for it. Or gusto ko malaman, maglagay ng selection or ng check field dyan na pwede kong ipakita sa kliyente ko. So they can actually add that as well. For hosting options. So kay Odoo Enterprise, you do have an option to do standard cloud hosting, self-hosting, and Odoo SH Cloud Platform. So Odoo SaaS and Odoo SH Cloud Service to host your database. Ang difference ng SaaS and Odoo SH, if you're heavily trying to you have heavy developments that you're trying to do with Odoo or magre-require ka ng a lot of customizations within your platform, very outside your Odoo environment siya or Odoo standard, or you have a third-party API that you wanted to add in the platform, Odoo SH is the way to go. If your requirement is fully standard, Odoo SaaS will suffice. Okay? And then lastly, professional service and support. So you do have a free support desk and billable project manager to work with you. Apart from that, you also have us as your accounts manager. So ang advantage ng Odoo Enterprise is mainly the support. Malaking support ang pwede namin maitulong sa inyo pagdating sa pag-setup ng inyong Odoo database and yung mga accounts ninyo pagdating sa pag-manage sa inyong subscription within the Odoo Enterprise version. So sa mga viewers natin ngayon na dati nang na-encounter si Odoo and nag-check na ng pricing ng Enterprise and say, okay, medyo mahal yan for us kasi bago pa lang kami, ganyan. Kung na-encounter nyo si Odoo before, ang pricing structure ni Odoo is apps plus users. So for small, medium businesses, actually beneficial yung bagong pricing na ni Odoo ngayon na all apps for a single fee. Ang pricing structure ni Odoo, we do have the standard plan and custom plan. For standard plan, you have an access to all Odoo online applications. So say yung mga basic mo, CRM, sales, subscription, POS, invoicing, accounting, expense, MRP, available yan lahat sa standard version natin. Kapag kakailanganin mo ng customizations, let's say you wanted to do Odoo Studio, multi-company setting, kailangan ko magdagdag ng third-party API. Custom plan is the way to go. So ito yung pricing natin to start with dito sa ating subscription or enterprise version ni Odoo. So 7.25 pricing for the Philippines per user per month for the standard version, and custom plan is 10.9 per user per month for the custom plan. Okay, so let's make it more localized. From personal experience, ano ba yung mga na-encounter ko sa Odoo Community versus Enterprise na discussions? Typical scenario, I think this is not the first one that I've encountered. I encountered a couple of cases like this before. Hey Ananda, I'm using Odoo Community for version, let's say version 8, for how many years na? So this specific company, they used for 8 years. Okay? very fond sila kay Odoo. They like the system fully. They have their own developers. They customize their system. So ang dami na nilang nagawa throughout the years sa system na yon. They like the system so much. It's just that, Ananda, this Odoo community, useful sa amin. Pero, na-obsolete na siya. Or, ang dami ng bugs. Iba-iba kasi yung naging in-house developers namin na nag-improve ng system. Ang dami nilang ginawang development sa community edition nila. When they checked it out, nag-test kami ng enterprise version. Yung mga ibang features na nilagay namin dun sa community namin, actually available siya sa enterprise. From that conversation, sabi nila, okay, kailangan na namin i-move yung database namin or kailangan na namin i-move or i-migrate yung community namin to something else. So they were checking other systems apart from Odoo Enterprise. But then, leaning sila towards Odoo Enterprise dahil nga sanay na sila kay Odoo. So we checked it, tinignan namin kung ano yung minap namin, kung alin na yung nagawa nila sa community, how do we migrate it to Enterprise. Pero nung ni-review namin siya, actually, with the developments that they've done, depende sa developments na ilalagay mo sa system, ang nangyari, kinailangan namin i-scrap yung old system. Kasi mas affordable and faster actually to just let go of their old one and start fresh on Odoo Enterprise. Okay. So, at the end of the day, ang nangyari, kinailangan na lang namin mag-start ng fully from the Odoo Enterprise edition. We had to let go of their historical data. Kailangan lang mag-start from scratch from it. So, backup na lang nila yung historical data nila, but they have the Odoo Enterprise edition now. Let's do more localization. So, what Odoo can bring to the Philippines? Here we have updates that we have done. For you who were able to attend, for you guys who were able to attend noong July 3 for our localization, I think maraming guests from Odoo Philippines that time, no? Na nakinig sa ating localization talk from Rafael. Basically, to summarize kung ano na pag-usapan doon, BIR 2307 settings for Excel exporting. We do have now preset yung mga VATs and withholding taxes readily available sa system. We also do have some features na I would say very Filipino, just like petty cash issuance. So that's something na pwede natin gawa ng workaround kay Odoo. Another thing that we can do within the Odoo environment sa Philippines setup would be sales credit limit. So that's something that I often get asked pagdating sa Philippine scenario. So those are the things that Odoo can actually bring to the Philippines. And of course, let's not forget, we also do have a lot of accounts managers na Pinoy. So makikipag-interact kayo sa kapwa nyo rin Pinoy pagdating dito sa Odoo. Now, let's move on to FAQs from our Philippine customers. So I do have some FAQs here na pwede nating i-discuss. And afterwards, sa inyo naman na yung manggagaling yung mga questions sa Q&A session natin. First, ano ba ang difference ng Odoo Online versus Odoo SH? Again, kapag kailangan mo ng third-party integration or development, mas advisable na mag-start ka with Odoo SH. So, ang scenario kasi, Odoo SH works kapag nag-start ka sa, let's say, nag-umpisa ka ng Odoo Online, right? Nag-umpisa ka ng Odoo Online and then you wanted to do third-party integrations afterwards, pwede ka lang namin i-move sa major versions ni Odoo. Kapag nag-upgrade ka sa minor versions, hindi namin siya magagawa na ilipat ka sa Odoo SH. So, kung meron ka ng pre-planned na third-party integration and development sa system, just go directly to Odoo SH pagdating sa ganong approach. Kung meron kang mga third-party apps, developments, heavy developments and customizations na gustong ilagay sa system, Odoo SH is the way to go. And of course, we also do have the Odoo Online na suitable naman for standard features with a bit of customization. So let's say you just wanted to do a customization ng reports, forms, madali lang for the Odoo Studio, then pwede natin siyang gawin sa Odoo Online Edition. Second, what is the difference between working with Odoo directly or local partners? Not sure if we do have partners in our audience for today, but we do have a very strong local network of partners sa Pilipinas, some of which na-meet ko rin sila personally. So, paano ba natin ma-differentiate kung alin yung pumupunta or dealing with Odoo directly or sino yung advisable din na pumunta sa mga partners directly? Siyempre, if you do have a requirement of meeting your partners, gusto mo makita sila in person, then local partners is the way to go. Pagdating naman sa approach sa implementation, if you wanted to stick to standard features with quick start implementation, so quick start implementation, ang fina-follow namin, 80-20. Dapat majority ng requirements mo within the Odoo standard features lang. 20% customizations kung kailangan. If pasok ka doon sa quick start implementation, kaya namin siyang i-implement for you within Odoo directly. Pero kung meron kang fino-forecast na big development or out of Odoo standard features, you can definitely work with our partners. So our partners can help you out na i-implement ito pagdating sa iyong business. Last question in our FAQs, how do I move from Odoo Community to Enterprise? First step, message me by email. The reason being, walang one straightforward answer for it. Depende siya kung ano yung nagawa mo na sa Odoo Community version mo. Yung difficulty depends on how you configured it, customizations that you've done, and best scenario typically, in my experience, is to just start fresh. Ito yung most affordable way to move from Odoo Community to Enterprise. Just start fresh with the Enterprise Edition. And then treat your data before as a historical data. Kasi yung difficulty ng aralin mo pa kung ano yung ginawa mo sa community and then mapping pagdating dun sa Enterprise Edition, marami ka ma-realize na, okay, available na pala sa Enterprise yan. Pwede ko na siyang gawin right now. I don't really have to do like i-align fully yung ating community sa Enterprise Edition. So, yun yung ma-advise ko. Pagdating sa best case scenario, usually it's best to start fresh from the Odoo Enterprise Edition. But yeah, you can message me directly para ma-discuss natin siya further. Okay. So, now, we move on to the Q&A. Okay, let me just... Okay, for the Q&A, let's see. Questions? Okay, ano po ang difference ng Odoo sa Microsoft Azure, AWS, at Google Cloud? So these are different hosting platforms na pwede mong paglagyan ng database mo basically. So if you do on-premise, may mga gumagamit ng AWS for that. Any other questions? No more questions? Okay. Habang nag-aantay tayo ng mga questions from you guys, feel free to still message me. I'm not the only one na may alam pagdating sa Odoo. We do have a community group on Viber. If you guys are interested to join, feel free to join. Very active ang ating Odoo Pinas Viber group. So may mga messages dyan about yun sa mga developer questions din. So that's also another option para din sa mga Odoo community users pagdating sa mga development. Kung may mga questions kayo, you can direct it to the Odoo community group Viber. So kami yung nagmamanage dyan, but majority of the users is from Philippines. Makapwa natin sila Pinoy na gumagamit ng Odoo. Okay. If we start with the standard and decide to go to custom down the line, will our data be carried over? Yes. But it also depends, again, dun sa nilagay nyo sa, actually standard to custom, yes, kung Odoo online siya. This is the typical scenario for the Philippines. Kaya ina-advise ko usually kapag pero kung may forecast ka sa paggamit ng custom plan, better na mag-start ka na ng custom. It's to further discuss this, you can actually message me, but pricing structure wise, mas beneficial kung mag-start ka dun sa plan na kailangan mo talagang gamitin. No more questions. Any other? Last call for questions. Just check again kung may questions pa kayo. Okay, infrastructure as a service. I think ang meron kami sa Odoo is SaaS and PaaS and on-premise. So those are the three options na meron tayo. If a company has more than 20K employees, advisable ba mag-enterprise na? Yes. Bakit? Data-wise, if you have 20 employees, you would want it to be managed properly. Okay? So yung scenario na sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, pagdating dun sa client na yon, they actually have a lot of users. Marami silang users ng system. But we had to move them. Ang naging main reason nila to move their thousands din yata ang ano nila, if I remember correctly. Nasa thousands din yung users ng ano nila, ng database nila. Hundreds or thousands, I think. Minove nila sila sa enterprise on the basis na yung support, malaking factor yung support. At the same time, community being now obsolete siya kapag naglagay ka na ng maraming data doon, now obsolete siya kasi wala kang upgrades and support. Yun yung nagiging reason for that. So, cost-wise, I think it's also beneficial to just move them directly to the enterprise edition. But feel free to message me and we can talk about it. We can discuss yung flows mo. Baka naman hindi kailangan user yung iba mong employees. May mga apps na hindi sila kailangan maging user, by the way. Depends. If you want to discuss, pwede natin pag-usapan yung flow, actual flow mo. Kasi again, may mga applications na hindi nila kailangan maging user ng system. Paano po maging partner ng Odoo? So we do have a partner page. You can just look for it sa Odoo, odoo.com. And then ano pa ang mga legal limitations sa paggamit ng Odoo? Pagdating sa localization, as a Philippine setup, so we do have limitation pagdating sa POS kasi required ka maging BIR accredited ng POS. CAS, we do have a partner that's implementing CAS system. So it's actually nagawa na nila ng way para maging CAS accredited yung Odoo pagdating sa kanila. So depende naman siya sa anong approach mo din. Timesheet user. So magre-record sila ng timesheets. Right? This one, I think you can message me and then i-discuss natin further yung buong process flow nung timesheet process mo. And then, bigyan kita na advice. Kung paano natin malilimit yung users. Okay. So, yeah. So, I think our time is almost up. So, basically, I'll show you na yung contact card ko. Dun sa mga may inquiries dito about dun sa further discussions, you can always book a demo with me. You can email me at mlh@odoo.com. I also have a WhatsApp or Viber +852-5499-3404. So, or you can scan these codes. Again, my name is Ananda Mandalihan, your resident business development from Odoo Asia Pacific, representing the Philippines. Okay, see you again soon for the next webinar from Odoo. Bye!